And then after that, we have in certain level, and they will be recognized as authorized training body. And also, in this AWF, this will be edited, will be completed by we call MOS, Manpower Optimization System. This is a database. This means every student, when it's finished, will be in data. From the data, they can see the possibility how to get job. I know that this time in Malaysia need 20,000 welders, for instance. And the Middle East, they know about 2,000 welding inspector. I know from the MOS. And then from the MOS, we can together, and then we can take maybe when somebody here working in Middle East, and then 3 months, in 3 months will be finished his contract, and then he can apply to the factories, to the company who stayed in the MOS. This is the how it works. Now Indonesia we have HCB in Jakarta. Now is the chairman from the HCB is Dr. Budi. This is from Komatsu, Indonesia. This is the chairman from the HCB, authorized certification body. Now this time Indonesia have 10 ATB and 7 ATC. For instance, in Komatsu and Politeknik Perkapalan Indonesia, Surabaya, and also from another. Also in my institute, in Lastek, also as ATB. This is ATB will be approved by the government council. The government council is the members of all the countries, and then will be approved. When it's okay, then HEB can give its power, its authorization to the ATB to make a training, to make a certification supervised by the HEB. This one is our very simple organization. This is a HEB and then the ATC authorized testing center. And then after that, you should prepare for the examiner, auditor, also the weld tester. And they can go to your institute, go to your school to make examination or to assess our student will be have this Asia welding certificate. Now, what is different? What is different between IVF and another schema? We have so many schema. The difference is the schema is enhanced. They make enhanced. Yes, it's enhanced. That we should be make monitoring, very strict monitoring. And also, they make also here how they always assess according to the regulation, to our guideline. It means when you have now the existing workshop or training center, not so much change. It's very important that you use the guideline. And then also, you should have follow the daily wise schedule, and then somebody from HEB coming to assess you, and then you will be recognized This means also, this also will be coming from other countries. Normally, in order to our philosophy, when I make a training, I cannot audit. I cannot check it. I cannot assess. Then when Indonesia make a training that coming from, the assessor coming from Singapore or from Japan. They make here, assess, it's okay, then you have a certificate, and then you can, our student, to go to Japan, and I show you after. This is a little bit, okay. This is our facility in Komatsu, in Silinsing. Now this is our ATB.
Saya pikir Ibu tadi bawa headset.
And this is the daily wise, you can control strength, okay, the population, and then we can check what is going. Okay, this is the rule. We can guideline. This is this one B. What is now most is the internet database, and after that we can. We have also operation procedure until 21, and now it's 23. You can procedure how to make ATB and how to make ATC, and also what the AWF will be make a connection to the factories, to the company, to all Asia. This means our student will be separate in all Asia. It's possible. And also, they make also some connection to the company. Okay, we can continue. Yeah, this is the plan. How? Because the central, it will be in by MOS, by data, by electronic data, and this data from the company data coming, from the school data coming, also from another coming, and then you can spread it to all the members of the countries. We also, how do you make a MOS together with a training center? After finish, should be added to the school, and then we get the data. Okay, this is all the responsibility for HEB, how we can make it. The HEB make a flexible for the all Indonesia, for instance, and also the ATB for the school. Okay. Now this is, I was the last 10 years was in Japan. We are together. Now this time we collect all from PSMK, from Polytechnic. We collected and then bring to Japan. But we working together in association. We working, it means we are direct in the factories. For instance, here by the Mitsui, it is in Fukuoka, is in Fukuoka, this Mitsubishi shipyard. Every year, she said, we need 500 welders, inspector, engineer to Japan for 3 years, and then we can continue until 5 years.
Sorry, but we have to stop soon.
Okay, this is the finish. Yeah, this is the resume. The resume is the quality, not by testing. The qualified personnel will be training. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this presentation. So we understood that the Welding Institute is working with all the country, mostly of the country of Southeast Asia, and you try to promote through this association international professional standard. and help all the country to get this international standard. Also, as we face high technology in this field, so the manpower need high skill competency. And through this certificate standard that you offer and your organization, ATB, you accompany the country, and here, maybe the Ministry of Education, if I understood well, to promote this certification for the teachers to be able after to deliver this level. Thank you so much, and we hope that everything is going well for the teacher and for the youth of Indonesia. Thank you so much, Pa. So for the question, we keep for the second time of the presentation. Now, please, Dr. Gemolo, it's your time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Okay, it was I was listening to the last presentation, and it's amazing how much technology is being infused in vocational studies and so on. And I think we need to also look at how teachers teach with technology to enable the students to use technology well in their careers. Okay. So today, for the next 20 minutes or so, all right, I'll be talking about embracing education technology in the classroom. Okay. My name is Jerome Lowe. Okay. And let's see if this moves to the next one. Next slide. Yeah, okay, that's me. Okay. I actually work in a company called EduSpec Berhad Holdings Berhad, and it's based in Malaysia. That's the headquarters. And that's my email, okay? And my role in the company is called Group Strategy and Development. Actually, at heart, I am a teacher. I've been a teacher and lecturer since 1995. So to all the teachers here, and I'm sure there's many, and also students, we sing, okay? I actually live in Singapore. It looks something like this on its best days. Okay, when it's not raining and so on. A little bit of background about myself. So this is where technology has. Okay, here we go. Here's the confusing part. I'll do it very fast. I'm actually Canadian. I've been in Singapore for 22 years. I've been a teacher for a certain amount of time. In that period, while I was in Singapore, I was actually in Raffles Institution, a prestigious school in Singapore, and I was the education technology management for close to 8 years. Okay, and my role there was to teach teachers how to use technology. Before that, I had 2 little separate gigs in Nia Polytechnic. That's also, I taught in the areas of marketing, economics, and also Photoshop. And for a little while in between those jobs, I actually worked for a company called SGI, or Silicon Graphics Incorporated, doing education's consultancy. They're a manufacturer of supercomputers. They were the best computers at that time for Toy Story, if you remember. And in 2006, I was the first Apple Distinguished Educator in Asia. Well, that was back then. To me, Apple is just a part of my life. I think as a teacher, we need to use everything as much as possible that is cost effective and the learning outcomes are met. So I just want to show a movie. You click onto the movie. Yep, turn up the sound. Okay, there's no sound, but I will narrate. How do you improve your education system? Maybe look at the backdrop of this. This is an actual study done, and I pulled it out from the internet and I compiled it into a video. They did a survey to to the public. If you look at the overall survey, they want better teachers, more government spending, more technology. Then they asked in the next group, this is an overall result. Something's not right with the video. It's supposed to roll. Okay. Yeah, so they asked the students, they want better teachers, more technology, and after-school program. And of course, they don't want tests. But being in Asia, you can't run away from that. But their testing and assessment has its value, and we will talk about that as well a bit later on. Okay, it's okay. I'm just going to skip it. Overall speaking, the top 3 results are always better teachers, more government spending, and more use of technology. So this becomes an issue for teachers. But I like what Bill Gates has said. If you look at it, technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids to work together, you must start where? You must start with the teacher first, because they are the pivotal learning figure for the students in the classroom. So we can always say, oh, kids right now, our students are really good at using IT. Yes, for the sake of entertainment. But in the context of education and a big word that they don't understand called pedagogy, you have to use technology with pedagogy well. And not for the sake of using it for entertainment, Instagram, Facebook. And, you know, we had always a joke in Raffles Institution. We always said that the social media is also a social disease when you're inside the school. These are cyberbullying and other facts. And also copyrights. And most of our teachers in the school did not understand that if you put your PowerPoint or document in Facebook, you have just surrendered your copyright, your intellectual property. It's no longer yours. And if you have plagiarized as a teacher, someone can sue you or the school. So I'm nagging, but you know, I'm a teacher, so I like to nag. So if you look at a micro environment of a school, our ecosystem, we have 3 main areas. We have the classroom, we have the teacher, and technology. We're going to go back in a little bit of history here. It's really quite interesting. Our classroom, let's look at the history. The 14th and 15th century, if you look at here, you have the teacher, and you have the students facing the teacher. You have some that are actually paying attention. You have ones that are talking, and some are sleeping. This is an actual painting from 14th century. If we go on to the next century, it's practically the same. Talking, teacher, many students in front of a teacher, teacher, teach, one way, one way, one way. And then, 17th century, we started packing a lot of students in the same way as what we have here. One way, communication. Not much technology. 19th century, well, we have technology now. If you look at it, we have a blackboard. And poor teacher have to write so much in erase. Every day, every lesson, same thing. When I was teaching in a polytechnic in 1997, it started, I had 8 tutorial classes of the same subject. Imagine writing something for 8 times a week. I went crazy. I couldn't wait until Friday. For teaching something 8 times, you lose a little bit of life as well. In the late 21st century, as you see here, well, we do have more technology. We have a screen and probably a projector somewhere, but the layout is still the same. So really, are there significant changes since the 14th century? Not
really. Not really. So what is the ideal learning environment? When we stress about technology being used in your careers, how is it being mirrored in the school, or should it be mirrored? What is the ideal learning environment? If classrooms have not changed over the last so many centuries, how is the present configuration relevant for the 21st century's learning techniques that we all promote? Many governments have said we need 21st century learning, 21st century teaching, but our environment is still the same. I like this. I have done over 2,000 lesson experiments and observation. And I have timed each of the lessons. That when a teacher writes and you waste 2 to 3% of the time minimum. And then while I am erasing, my back is turned against the crowd, my student starts talking. Then I turn around and say, hey, please be quiet. You over there, be quiet, be quiet. That's additional 2 or 3% of time. Student engagement expressions are suppressed. Why? When I have a class of 50 students, I cannot attend to every single student. When they raise their hand, I only can answer one. But they keep on raising their hand. You will see the primary school students are very enthusiastic. By the time they get older, they're like this. Why bother raising my hand? These are not going to answer. I've never been answered. Maybe once in a while. So you will see that they have been suppressed. And we have cultivated students not to be engaged, not to be active, because of the environment. One type of teaching, and every teacher is guilty of this, because I only have time to teach one way. But my students learn in multiple ways. They could be auditory learners, they may be kinesthetic or visual. But how I teach, you would see that I teach visually. But if I have an auditory inclined student, they may miss the ball. So how can I teach multiple ways in the same instance? Lesson perishability. Now, these are issues that teachers always tell me. When my students are sick, they're not in class, they come back next day and say, teacher, can you please reteach me again? And that's my face. Again? How can I do the same performance again? It's very hard for me to replicate that lesson again. Group learning is physically limited and demanding, because if I ask my students now, can you please make a group of 4, and then they push their chairs, and there'll be lots of noise. They'll be pushing the furniture, moving around. That would take 2 or 3% of class. At the end of class, they got to move the furniture back, and then they're talking. It's loud. It's frustrating. Why do it? That's why teacher says, you know what? I'll just teach one way. Directed learning. And last, schools management towards the use of technology has been slow. Not because they don't want to. Each school is different, and their strategy may be very complex, or it could be slightly easier. Now, what I have observed in so many years, and I think you will understand, is that the young teachers coming into the force will use IT very well. They say, I don't need training, I know everything. But the pedagogical approaches are inexperienced. Then you have a very experienced teacher of 15, 20 years who say, I hate technology. But their pedagogy is very solid. They know how to engage a student. So again, there's a divide. Let's see if this video goes. Can you press onto the video, please? Let's look at the inefficiencies of a classroom. If you look at here,
typical teacher is only one student, and as soon as the teacher leaves, you see they move, right? And she can't even see. And these are little kids. Teacher disappeared. I don't even know where the teacher went. And you see these monkeys? It's like a zoo, okay? Let's look at this one, a class of 50. This kid says, hands up, I need help. Teacher does not see. Guess what he does? He goes and talks to the boy. Then the teacher moves here. You will see many students move to the other side because the back is turned. She was trying to do group work, and it became another monkey show. Not her fault. The environment does not support this type of pedagogical approach. Now we have a digital classroom. Same students, by the way. She's in full control. The ones in the back can see that because there are two screens. Whatever she writes can be mirrored to the laptop. Everyone has a place and has a voice. Even questions may be missed, but they're not monkeys anymore. They're human beings. They have evolved. They were the same student from the last class, by the way. Dual projection, it's a simple thing. But while the teacher is writing, the other projection is mirroring that, and the students can see it on their laptop as well. You see the class discipline have decreased. You are saving time in the lesson. Participation, engagement of students, peer learning. Everything is being recorded just like this. So when the students go back home, they can review the lesson again. Lesson is not perished. Next video, please. I want to show you something that we did at Raffles Institution. He made, this teacher is 15 years old, not 15 years old, teaching of 15 years. He hated teaching. He never smiled until he was in this room. We got the student to write on the board. He was teaching biology and said, okay, could you please write or draw a cell structure? Because a part of the assessment depends on how well you draw. And then the students were trying to guess what the student was drawing. So it became a group and peer learning. They made fun of each other's drawing, but it was engaging. There was no talking. There was no monkeying around. That was the best part. So now I am compressing time where everything is being taught at a shorter time. Efficiency. And this teacher did a poll using clickers. Every student had a radio frequency clicker. We use mobile cell phones because it's distracting. As soon as they have a phone in their hand, they go to Facebook and Instagram. But these devices, you see how it goes to work? They're standing up to answer the question. They all pushed the teacher towards the wall. And immediately the results of each question is being answered. And it's anonymous, so there's no names to it. But the teacher knows who has got it right and who has got it wrong. And the best part is no internet. You don't need internet for radio frequency. For schools in Asia, the rural area without internet, this is a very useful tool. I know this is old technology, but at the end, it works. That's what teachers want, something that works. Okay. We'll go to the next slide. I have to jump a bit. Let's look at the teacher. We focus on the classroom. Let's look at the teacher. We have a teacher here. We have technology there.
And guess what? They don't like each other. Sometimes it's like oil and water. Because IT people will say, what do you know about IT to the teacher? And the teacher will say, what do you know about teaching and pedagogy? But one thing that can unite these two, okay, is really pedagogy. Okay. With pedagogy as the so-called the language between the IT and technology and also teaching, you can reach the 21st century classroom learning. In any solution, we would like to see these four stakeholders: teacher, principal, parent, and student. I'm just going to end now with a few slides, and then we can talk more. In advertising industry, which I used to be as well, we have something that's called the impossible triangle: time, cost, and quality. And what it says is, the impossible triangle is that you should only get 2 out of 3 at one time. Because if you want good quality and you want it cheap, it will take a longer time. If you want the quality, good quality, and fast, it will cost you. If you want it cheap and fast, quality will suffer. In education, I would like to call it the stretch triangle. I want time to be shortened to create more time for teaching and learning and new innovative approaches. Cost. Well, the cost is pretty well fixed by the teacher's wages, the amount of ICT budget, and even the school fees. But the quality, we want to focus on this, is that we want better teaching, we want better teachers, we want better students, and contribute to the GDP of that country over time. So what I would like to leave you with this thought is that we need more time to increase quality. And if we focus on classroom efficiencies, the teacher will have more time to think of new ways of delivering, new training approaches, and so on. So more time to increase quality at same or fair cost. Okay. My whole discussion here, and I could talk for the next 3 days, is that we need time, extra time for the teachers to think about what they want to change for the future. And if they have the time, they will be more satisfied. And I've seen many teachers, especially in Singapore, is that I have no time. I just want to get the day over with. I will teach to the test. Make sure they do the test and then I'm done. Not everyone's like that, but there's many.
Sorry, sir, we have to conclude.
That's all. That's all. I just want to drop that last bit. Okay, thank you very much.
So, thank you so much. I noticed what Bill Gates say that more technology, it's also better teacher. And he say also that teachers are more important. So it's a triangle, as you say, with the teacher, technology, but technology never will do the job instead of the teacher. But technology, as you say very well, it's a tools to help the student, to help the teacher, and I see for make a better learning environment. And your video was very interesting when the classical classroom, we spend, I know myself, I used to be teacher, so I was the same at the first video, running from one student to one student, spending time like this. And when we see how could be very helpful the technology to manage the kids, to make them more involved with the teaching, to make them more autonomous, because it's really the main purpose when we're teaching. Also, I was looking at your stretched triangle, and I suppose your organization, as you say, is how to accompany the partner in how to manage, to make manageable this triangle between time, quality, and of course for a ministry, cost. So I suppose that we will have many questions for both of you. Thank you so much. Okay. And please, now it's time for the question. So we have 20 more minutes for the question, maybe 4 questions. We'll start with 4 questions. Okay, I will start by the left side to the right side. So yes, please, can you introduce yourself? Say who you are, where you come from, and if you're a teacher, maybe it's interesting to know what you are teaching on subject.
Kalau pik buat rumah kerjanya sampai dibagi sudah selesai, bapak bagikan tempat kerja itu. Ya, kalau saya masak ini akan paham kalian? Baiklah,
Okay, and this time given to me, the honorable speaker, moderator, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Before the deriving of my question, so let me introduce myself. I am Agus Santosa. I am a teacher from State Vocational High School at Magelang. In this seminar, so I am interested that almost the speaker talk more about technology. For example, the result of this school like aircraft, satellite, and radar. Our school be invited by the committee. But our school not from technology background. Our school from tourism background. And then for the first speaker, my question, is it possible our school to join with it? Because school graduate from vocational school need more certificate, I think. And then when we can join through this aid for the first speaker, how we can join it. And then to the second speaker, just know, you said that teaching by technology. And then there are more problems in our school. So because more obstacle to be at the big city, there is a long distance from the big city. So one of the problem, the teacher, all of the teacher is according to Indonesia, tidak melek teknologi. There is no about technology. And then the distance from the big city is very far. And then how to solve this problem? Okay, and then not only to the speaker, my question, it's better when the committee gives us the soft copy of this seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, As you prefer. Please, second question. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for giving me the time, especially for Mr. Low. Yes. Okay, before I'm coming here, I mean, these second days, in my mind that from your titles, blessings, education, technology in schools. Okay, sorry, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Amin. I'm from SMK 4, Balikpapan. Yes, my question is, we know that my school is tourism school as the first presence, I mean, what is it we call that, the person asked you before. In my mind, that technology means something like the robotics, gadgets, and also sophisticated device and so on. And then you know that the output of tourism school, like my school, is qualified skill. So of course that in here, can I say that education technology is what is it? The teacher and also video as the actor, yes, and then the students as the observer. In my school, I mean, in classroom management in my school, of course, they're doing like that. So by using LCD and then also blah blah blah, of course we use it. Can I say that by having a technology like that, we categorize that it is the education technology? That's all my question. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. When you speak, please keep away a bit the microphone because we have some difficulty to understand from here. Thank you. Speak more like this. Slowly.
Ya Bapak Ibu, kalau ada pertanyaan, mohon pertanyaan itu short, clear, karena moderatornya juga orang asing agak sulit untuk memahami. Terima kasih.
Please. Distract. For someone else.
Ada pertanyaan lagi?
Yeah, please start.
Please Pak, Bapak mungkin lebih dekat ke sini.
Yeah. I'm Dedi Hermadi from Internasional School 1, Cimahi, West Java. The short question for Pak Slamet. Pak Slamet, is there any chance for SMK students to have a national certification for welding until they get their study in school? Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Pak. Maybe one more question, the last one. Oh, yes, please, Pak.
Thank you. My name is Agus, Principal of SMK 3 Cimahi, Java. To Mr. Slamet, I think welding is a specific technology and assignment, no program in SMK is welding. And what do you suggest to SMK in the future, Mr. Slamet? Thank you.
The question is about the specific of the welding. Yeah.
I mean, no program in SMK that's welding. Welding is not program in SMK assignment. And what you suggest for SMK future, can we have a welding program to specific program. Thank you.
He asked for the specific program for the welding in school or vocational school.
Itu Bu.
Thank you so much for all. Maybe for the two first questions, it's also quite similar on how to manage the technology in the school, how to accompany the school, your school for technology. Maybe I give you the word.
Okay, I'll try my best. Okay,
I'm sure.
I think the issues that you have raised is quite common to many regions around Asia, and in a way also to some other Western countries as well. Okay. When I was brought into Raffles Institution, as I thought, well, am I going to be a teacher? And I say, no, I'm going to be the USB cable between the two devices, that is IT and teacher. So what I had done for the 8 years was, we had hardware, we had software. I had to build a humanware, which is the teachers, to enable them to use those hardware and software well. And that is through this. We have what's called an on-site, not technologists, but teach-nologists. Because teaching comes first. And how does technology infuse? Now, teaching comes first, technology comes later. If your pedagogy and lesson plan requires help for the teacher to do better in the classroom, you may look to use technology, but don't use technology because I have to every single class. In fact, most teachers now use only about 20–30% of class time with technology. So they mix it. And training, and I'm probably going to be answering for other questions as well, is that training has to start from the ministerial level. I believe there's not enough of education technology training for the pre-service teachers. I know it exists in Malaysia, even in Singapore. I cannot speak for Indonesia at this time. But the fact being is that, imagine their internship as pre-service teachers, they should visit the schools and do an internship and help the teachers how to use technology. So the teachers in service benefit from the pre-service as well. And what you have is a sustainable ecosystem. It all goes back to professional development. We always talk about the output of certification, but what is the input? Okay.
Thank you so much. What you said makes me thinking about the program of PSMK with a school referent, SMK referent, will become a kind of model and will train after the sister SMK. And we can imagine this kind of internship, this kind of spread out of how to use technology within this program, maybe, I don't know.
Sorry, can I say one more thing? And for the students, especially in TVET, more and more I have been exposed to the concept of scalable and micro credentials. And that being said, is that instead of having technology for the students to take bite-sized learning activities that will contribute to the actual classroom activity using hands and using machine and so on, that you have these bite-sized micro-credentials that work towards the actual certification. That also minimizes the failure rates as well.
Thank you so much. So now welding. So we have two questions, but we can imagine a single written, but so the first one was how to get a chance to deliver internal certificate within the school. So how to accompany the school and the teacher to this certification, and also how to create a welding sector in the school, and the two are supposedly linked. Please, Pa.
Thank you very much for your
question about how to get the international certification. Now, you know that sometime in our student or maybe our people, this welding is very, very lower level. She said, I don't like welding because welding is dirty. Welding is so many dangerous from eyes and also for lungs and everything. It's okay, but we can prevent it according to our knowledge, our skill, to be prevented. Now the problem is, now is welding get better and better, and with also with technology, and they use in all over the world. That's why in my presentation, how I can get, we said that you not change your existing training center, you not change. You have this one, okay, but you should be edited by the daily wise training schedule. If you should have a good auditor or a good instructor, and this one, and then your school, they coming to you to be audited. When your school is audited as ATB, authorized training body, and then when your school is already as ATB, and then your student will be accepted in whole country. It's been minimal for Asian welding country is 13 on for the Whitewood certification AW in 75 countries. This is your student will be accepted. But unfortunately, our national scheme for welding by BNSP, this is LSP last, for instance, until now, maybe in the future, not accepted yet, because there is no mutual recognition agreement between Indonesian government with another government. But we are from the Association Indonesia Welding Society, already have a mutual recognition. That's why we have a mutual recognition, and then after finish from the ATB for your school, it's been accepted. And also when they want to go to abroad to working in specialized, you not delivery unskilled, but you delivery skilled workers. You have different salaries, different standard, and different everything. Now, this most important thing for you when you will be ATB, you should application to the Indonesian Welding Society. The address in Jalan Gatot Subroto in Surveyor Indonesia Building, and for what? I think it's 11 4. This is our bureau there. Then you can applicate them, and then they will give you some form. You will be filling from up, and then will be bring you to assist you how to be ATB. But for the school, it's not training center yet. You can please you prepare the very simple one, or a very simple training center, simple workshop, and then maybe also from our society will be help you how to be. We already 10 or 20, more than 20 SMK will be help, and then it's okay. Also, I heard that from the Kementerian, from the minister also will be choose for all Indonesia, maybe around 10 school, first as pilot project for the international ATB. I hope your school will be choose as international ATB. This means what you are do here and then maybe go to abroad. Yeah, maybe I think it's better because I said that in Japan every year I should go. This is a connection between association, between not one government. This is an association between Indonesia Association, Indonesian Building Society, and Japan Building Engineering Society. With China, with Thailand, and we are work together. This means I hope that my explanation will be clear, and when not so clear, we can ask. Maybe we can talk. Then after that, what I can do for you, because the association is grown to help you. Because we are always voluntary, we not pay for the government. We are voluntary to give you, to bring you how to improve your school, how to improve your knowledge and skill. Thank you.
Thank you. It was interesting to know that there are programs with the Kementerian Pendidikan, the PSMK, to accompany 10 schools at this level. And sometimes it's nice to start small, to secure and to have this kind of pilot program to spread out after in the other school. That's sure I imagine for the ministry is a challenge. It's still the same, the course, but also how to make a fair system to promote this kind of system and certification for all the students. Thank you so much. The session now, we close this session. I suppose that we have the coffee break and we come back so later for the second session of the day. Thank you so much for all.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas Becker and Mr. Jerome, PhD, for this full presentation and fruitful discussion. And please, we are on the stage for receiving the token that will be given by the Head of Program Directorate of Technical and Vocational Education. Therefore, to Mr. Aranibowo Kurniawan, please come forward to the stage to present the tokens of our appreciation to the guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, allow us to make some announcement. We already provided the coffee break on the outside of this room. Please enjoy the meal. And the coffee break will last for 15 minutes.